Hey everybody, it's me, Stu Helm, the food fan, back here at Food Fan HQ with another segment for you. And this segment is about brunch. Now, I love brunch. I always say if you like breakfast and you like lunch, you are going to love brunch. And I love all three of those things very much. And brunch is just kind of special because it doesn't happen every day. It's kind of a made up meal. It was constructed like to it has like a very curious history of being constructed in England on Sundays for people who didn't go to church because they drank too much the night before, and so they didn't wake up early enough to go to church. And then, like, I guess I don't know, I haven't really researched this, I just kind of know this. Maybe I did research it, I don't know how I know this, but maybe it's not true, maybe I'm making it up entirely. You'll have to fact check me, but I think that the service at the time in the 1800s, early 1900s, at the Anglican church in England was quite long. And so typically you'd eat breakfast, go to church, and have a big Sunday dinner afterwards. But if you're a sinner and you've been up all night on Saturday and you've been drinking, and then you wake up and your whole family has already ate breakfast and gone off to church, and you're like, what about me? And then that's where the pubs, I guess, and the ale houses and whatnot would have invented the the meal brunch. So it's a relatively new meal. I don't know when the other meals were invented. I'm going to imagine that breakfast was invented like the very first day that like people started recording what a meal was, because you wake up, you gotta eat something unless there's coffee, and then you don't have to eat anything until 2 o'clock, which is might be typical of me. Anyhow, trying to break the habit of saying any hoodles. Should I do that? I don't know. I feel like it's become kind of gimmicky, but it is something I just say. It's not something I came up with because for my food reviews, but it's something I just say out loud while I'm talking. So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I won't. But anyhow, let's talk about brunch here in Asheville. So brunch, I had a just a wonderful brunch, and I know I talk about this place a lot, but it is close to my house, and it is fantastic. And I'm a person who likes to go to the really good places again and again. And I went to Ukiah with my whole family, Ukiah Japanese Smokehouse with my whole family on Mother's Day, and we got brunch. And good God, it was delicious. I'm having deja vu or something that I've already talked about this, but I'm going to muddle through as though I haven't. Maybe I've just told a lot of people about it. But yeah, I went with my mom, my brother in law, and my sister. Unfortunately, Dawn is out of town right now, so she couldn't join us. And at Ukiah, they do a traditional Southern style brunch with biscuits and gravy, chicken and waffles, and stuff like that. But all of it has sort of a Japanese little cha 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 to it. A little, what do they call that? A little Japanese zhuzh to it. Just zhuzh it up a little bit with some Japanese flair. And so it's really really good. This is my second time experiencing the brunch at Ukiah, and my whole family agrees. Like everybody was super happy with what they got. The regular menu is available as well. And brunch, by the way, happens at Ukiah on Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 2. As far as I know, don't quote me on hours. They can be quite changey these days. Try to call ahead when you want to make sure that you're not disappointed when you get there. Ukiah is pretty solid with their hours. Their hours do change, but that usually just means that they're expanding. So that's nice. They recently started to open on Mondays. But anyhow, now I feel like I say that too much. Back to any hoodles. Any hoodles. I got the breakfast ramen, and it was fantastic. It had what was called an egg broth, plus it had an egg on it, plus it came with a strip of bacon on a skewer, and it had stuff in it and was just, I don't know, it was fantastically delicious. And my brother-in-law got like a duck bowl, which I guess was a form of ramen that's on the regular menu, and he was pumped about it. We didn't do a lot of sharesies at this meal. I don't know why. My family, I don't share as many bites as I do when I go out with like my buddy Patty and we split a sandwich, or with Dawn and we share everything. But maybe I should. Maybe I should start insisting that we all share all the time. I think people get sick of that though. I know I do. Anyhow, yeah. So he was very satisfied with his duck bowl. My mom got the biscuits and gravy by my recommendation, and she loved them. She really, really enjoyed them, and she crushed one and she saved one for later. And I know from experience that those do reheat later very nice. If you bring them up to room temperature and then heat them in the toaster oven a little bit with some foil over them, and they come out very nice. The egg is over easy, so by the time you're done bringing it home and reheating it, it's more like over pretty much hard, but it's still friggin'. Then just chop it up in there. The gravy is still all gravy-ish, so it's really good. Reheated is my point there. And my sister got what I thought was kind of boring, but turned out to be kind of exciting. Was the yogurt and granola parfait. Now I was like, can't you get? Isn't that something people get at the airport? It come in a plastic cup with like a dome on top and a spoon sticking out or something like that. And but I didn't. I kept those thoughts to myself because I didn't want to offend my sister. And then it showed up, and it was very attractive for one thing, and it was huge. And I'm surprised that she crushed it. So it couldn't have been too much. To me, it looked like too much, but I know my sister wouldn't have just like crushed it if it had been too much. She's not a person to stuff herself like I am. And she said it was very, very tasty and had like fresh fruit, and it was presented very nicely in a old fashioned parfait cup, and it had like it was overflowing, like it had honey running down the side and stuff, so that made it very attractive to look at. And we also shared some things. Notably, was this potato pancake thing that was like a potato and scallion pancake meets a hash brown. It was so good. I could just next time I go, I'm ordering that just for myself. We shared two of them, which kind of meant like we were splitting, like we each got a half of one of these things. Next time I'm gonna get myself a whole one of these things and ask them, and get an egg on the side on the top, because I think that would be freaking perfect. Like cut that egg open, all that yolk run over this. It's like a scallion potato pancake meets a hash brown, and it's got a bunch of spicy sauce mixed up in it. Might even be sriracha, I'm not sure. Probably not. Probably some sort of house sauce too. Anyhow, so that was my brunch experience at Ukiah, and it was fantastic. So I recommend it to everybody. And then I put it out there on Facebook. Who else is doing brunch? And I didn't think that all that many people were doing brunch these days. And I think that some of these might be breakfast or lunch, but they were presented as brunch to me. So I'm just going to list them, and I'm not, I wrote down sometimes and then I kind of gave up because it was a lot of work and stuff. But H&F Burger on Biltmore Avenue does brunch on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 2. And I've had that and it was fantastic. La Bodega does brunch Wednesday through Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday brunch plus Wednesday, Thursday, Friday brunch. And that's different. And that is 11 to 3. And I've had that as well. And it's quite delicious. And then the Asheville Beauty Academy does a brunch, and they go back and forth every other Sunday. So Sunday brunch, I'm not sure if they do Saturday brunch. Call and ask. But I know for sure they do Sunday brunch. And every other week it's jazz brunch, and the opposite week it's drag brunch. And so that's very fun. And Asheville Beauty Academy, if you're not aware, is on Broadway Avenue in downtown Asheville. Love me downtown. And then the auditorium is doing brunch. Boy, howdy, Chef Ben and his wife Tammy spoke up, and she's a chef too. Chef Ben and Chef Tammy spoke up, and they said, we're doing brunch. And I was like, yippee ki that is a brunch that I want to go get. Yeah, because their food is just scrumdiddlyicious, man. That phrase is probably copywritten, and I'm not allowed to say it. It was their food is just Yum. Is that copywritten? I don't know, probably. And Tammy makes baked goods, and I've had some of her baked goods, and mind blowing. She also won the chili cook off at the auditorium, which reeks of nepotism, but I was a judge and it was a blind competition, and her chili was fantastic, and I didn't know it was hers until she'd already won. And then Chef Ben is just like the king of the man who invented the deep fried tamale. I don't know if he invented it, but he introduced me to it, and it's unbelievable. So brunch at the auditorium on the weekends, and then at Rhubarb Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure if it's breakfast or brunch or both, but it is Saturday and Sunday, 10:30 to 2. So that sounds very brunchy at Rhubarb. And Rhubarb is, of course, James Beard nominated John Fleer's restaurant. It's excellent. The last food I had there was like mind blowing. I went there with those two travel bloggers from London that I took around town, and I stuffed food in their faces until they wanted to kill me. And we ended at Rhubarb, and even though it was the last bite on a very over fooded tour, we ate a lot of it, and it was fantastically good. So go to Rhubarb for brunch, and then speaking of Bene, oh, this is the one that sounded more like breakfast into brunch. I don't know, 7 a.m. to 2. I guess that could be brunch at Bene on Eagle, John Fleer's other restaurant. Current James Beard nominated rising star chef Cleophas Heathington is the executive or the chef de cuisine, I guess would be his official title there. And so Bene, and then Vivian down in the River Arts District. This is a restaurant. Vivian is a restaurant that I personally think is destined for James Beard recognition someday. I don't know how that happens. If you got to be a member of a certain club, if you have to have a certain amount of promotion, if I could just suggest it, I'm not sure how that works. But I think Vivian in the River Arts District is that caliber of food, and it's excellent, and their brunch I'm sure is fantastic. So go get that. And let's see, Rosabee's also in the River Arts District on the other side of the river, and Rosabee's is Hawaiian influenced food, and they do brunch on Sundays. Smoky Park Supper Club does brunch. I didn't get their hours. This is the point where I gave up on writing down people's hours, and so just going to list them. Smoky Park Supper Club down there on Riverside Road, a place called the Yellow Mug in Weaverville that I've never been to, but they do brunch. So if you're over there in Weaverville, hit them up. And these were all just people suggesting these things to me on a thread, two threads, and on Facebook. And then Stony Knob, also in Weaverville, and Stony Knob, in my opinion, is excellent. So I would love to go check out their brunch. I don't get out there often because hard to walk to Weaverville, and that requires a ride for me. So one day I'll get out there for brunch. And then we have Ivory Road in South Asheville, and Chef Jill is just a fantastic chef. So the brunch there is probably great. And if I recall, she's a great baker on top of being just a great chef in general. And so the pastries and baked goods are probably excellent as well. I haven't been there in a long time. I got to get out. It's hard for me to get out to these places. I'll do it sometime soon. And then Laughing Seed, if you're vegetarian or vegan or know somebody who is and you just want to take them to lunch in a place where they can order a ton of stuff, or if you're just like, what do they call that? Vegetarian adjacent or curious, or I just eat whatever's tasty. So if I have a vegetarian friend, or better yet, a vegan friend, because then their choices are even more limited. You want to take them to brunch, you can do so at Laughing Seed, a place called La Rumba, which I don't know where it is, and I haven't been there, but it got recommended. Celia's Kitchen, which is an old school Asheville favorite. Chef Celia is just a really great person, and so her brunch is probably awesome. And the Med downtown Asheville's oldest restaurant. I made the mistake one time of calling it Asheville's oldest restaurant, and some guy got really ill on me online, like calling me names or some crap like that, and I was like, sorry, dude. What do I know? I made a mistake. I guess Little Pigs is perhaps the oldest restaurant in Asheville, but I don't quote me on that either. Don't get angry at me. I don't know these things. I just say them. I probably shouldn't say them. And then, so the Med's doing brunch, and their food last time I ate there was really, really good. And the Corner Kitchen was the last one that I got from the thread. And the Corner Kitchen is great, and I recommend it very much. And any place else that's doing brunch, I want to know about it. So please leave me a comment. If you're seeing this on YouTube, you can leave me a comment there. And in fact, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. I guess that helps in the algorithming of the whole thing. So please do that for me. And let me know in the comment section where else is doing brunch. Recommend specific items if you want to, and also just on Facebook and Instagram and whatever, tag me when you post about brunch somewhere in Asheville, or if you're not from Asheville, anywhere. I'm always interested in brunch. I follow brunchers from all over the country on Instagram. There's a lot of people doing brunch. Just hit the hashtag and see what's happening out there. Some pretty great stuff. So yeah, brunch, they say it's the most important meal of the day. I agree. And I eat it as often as I can. And I hope you do too. And I hope that you'll take me up on some of my suggestions here, some of the suggestions of the other people. And I hope that you'll suggest some of your own. All right. I'll check in with you again real soon.